So, guys, welcome to the very first interview of the Art Farm Record Guest House. And I like to introduce you one artist I know since more than 30 years. His name is Dale Fisher, and he's already stepping in. So, hi, Mr. Fisher.
Greetings, Mr. Rothman. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So I'm starting straight with the interview. So
Okay.
you don't know any of those questions. First of all, welcome.
Are they going to be in English?
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
that's good then.
all in English. I mean, at least all in my school English, and I do the best that I can.
There you go.
So please excuse my bad English. But to be honest, I know my English is at least a little bit better than your
Way
German.
better than my German.
So how many words you know in German?
Not very many.
I mean, even if you came here since 3 decades,
Yeah, I know. Almost.
at least
I
one
know.
word for our audience.
Yeah. Schöne Hüften.
Excellent.
Only because you guys taught me that instead of Unschuligen. Which was funny for about 2 years, and then you finally told me the truth.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
gosh.
not even that sounds German, to be honest. But, I mean, nevertheless, it's awesome to have you here after, I guess, 4 years, 5 years.
Dankeschön.
And thank you. You're welcome.
See?
And I mean, I'm honored to have you here.
I'm
So
honored to
I
be
mean,
here.
let's start with the little baby interview and do me a favor and spend a few words about your childhood. I mean, where were you born? Where did you grow up? And how did you first get into touch with any music instrument?
I was born in Davenport, Iowa. My
Potato
father
State?
was no.
Oh no,
Corn.
Corn State. Sorry. Okay,
The Corn State.
excuse.
Oh, wow, that's the first time I've seen a helicopter. Then I grew up. I grew up in Davenport, Iowa, and I went to school there, and I was in the band, the marching band, and all that kind of stuff. And then I started playing in rock bands, and then I went away to college at Berklee College of Music in Boston. And then I studied classical music at Winona State University in Minnesota. And then I just moved to California and got out of there as fast as possible to try and just do the music thing on the School of Hard Knocks, because I knew I wasn't going to make it as a school teacher.
Which age you got in contact with an instrument, or when you moved to
I
LA?
started-
With
well,
the age of 12, or
Well, I started piano when I was really young. My grandmother taught me how to play piano when I was like 5 and 6 years old, and then I started taking lessons from her. And then every time I would go over and work for my grandfather, they had a big property and lots of flowers and fields and stuff. And so I would work for my grandfather, and every time when I got there, my grandmother would give me a piano lesson before I went to work for the day. And that was all during like 9, 10, 11, 12 after she taught me when I was really young. And then I started with serious teacher around 12, and Mrs. Heersman. And I had her, and she's the one that had me, if you came with your fingernails perfectly manicured, you got a star on your homework for the week or whatever. And I would get there and I'd always forget, and so right before I got in there I'd bite my fingernails off. And so to this day I still don't have any fingernails. But she taught me a lot of stuff too. And then I had two great band directors, Mr. King and Mr. Claus, at 2 different schools that just taught me an enormous amount of stuff when I started to learn clarinet and then saxophone. And then when I got in college, the first chair flute was a beautiful girl, and she said she'd give me lessons because she was a lot like the saxophone. And so I said, okay, great. And so on Tuesdays, I'd bring over a bottle of wine, and she'd teach me how to play the flute. And then I got into harmonica and guitar. Actually, before that, though, when I was still in high school, I would go out and we'd sneak out because it was a closed campus high school, and so we would sneak out to our cars and play guitar in the back of the car and try and not get caught when we came sneaking back in.
so figuring out. I mean, you play a bunch of instruments, not only the guitar or only the flute, whatever. I mean, you
Yeah.
play. I mean, mainly it's like Mr. Fisher 1, 2, 3, 4. You can set up the whole entire band only with you. Is it correct?
Yes, I do play a lot of instruments.
Excellent. And with what age you moved to LA?
Let's see. I must have been about 19 or 20. Well, maybe a little longer than that. Maybe a little older than that. 2021, somewhere in there, I think, with the Cucumbers. We played. We played for a man named Jim Bob Moffat, who was a oil tycoon for Freeport McMoran, and he owned an enormous part of Steamboat, Colorado. And then he brought us to New Orleans to play down there because that's where his main headquarters were. And then after that, I had him fly us straight to California. So that was the first time that we arrived in California. And so, yeah, that would have to be my 20s at some point.
And
20s.
with what age you figure out? I mean, where do you get the passion, or when do you figure out? Did you figure out? Okay, I can write songs. I can write lyrics. I can write melodies.
Yeah.
What age?
I was pretty young. I was like 15, 16. I started writing some songs, 17 in there. And then with the Cucumbers, that's when we met Mellencamp and we did his movie soundtrack for Fallen from Grace. And he was the one that really got me passionate about writing. He just said, everything's a numbers game and you're up against motherfuckers like me. Oh, sorry. John cusses a lot.
Don't worry.
But that's what he would say.
Dale, really, don't worry. We are in good old Germany, and we don't have all this beeps, 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 beeps like in the US TV shows, whatever. I mean, did you ever think about learning any another profession, or did you always want to become a full-blooded musician?
I wanted to become a musician. I got the taste of it when I started playing in bands when I was really young, and I would have to drive out of town and play until 2 or 3 in the morning, and they would drop me back off at home, and I had to get up for the bus and make the bus that came at 7 o'clock or 7:14 or something like that. And if I missed the bus, then I had to walk. And then if my grades went down at all, then I would have to quit the band. So I had to make sure my grades were up, and I missed the bus a lot. And so my dad, even though he was going that way, he had this diesel Oldsmobile, and he would drive right past me, and there was a slight incline, and he'd just like he'd hit the gas or whatever, and then this big cloud of diesel, like, you missed the bus, you have to walk.
Yeah,
and
but
then,
and
then I would hitchhike.
Yeah, but nevertheless, I mean,
It was a lesson.
Walking is perfect for the climate. I mean,
Yeah.
you already knew
That I was
back
late
by then.
right?
I mean,
Yeah, and it was.
I mean,
but then I always hitchhike, and I always got a ride because somebody would pick me up, and then I would tell them, "Yeah, I know I'm only 15 years old, but I played in Cedar Rapids last night, and I got home at 3 a.m. and I missed the bus, and if I miss the bus, my dad won't take me or whatever." And so they would feel sorry for me and take me all the way to school, right, and drop me off at the door.
I mean, what did your parents say about your plans? I mean, only a very small percentage of a musician can make it. I mean, a living from it.
That's true.
It's. I mean, you got thousands of bands,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I've lived a charmed life. Everything's been really nice for me. There hasn't been an enormous amount of success, but there hasn't been a lack of success either. I've done soundtracks. I've traveled internationally. I've played internationally. I've worked with lots of major artists. I enjoy recording. I enjoy writing songs and stuff like that. But I have relatives and stuff like that want to become musicians and stuff too and stuff. But I hate to push it on anybody else.
and
It's
your
like
parents,
it's
your
a hard
parents,
road.
they agreed.
They've always been real supportive of it. They have, and I'm the
Excellent.
youngest child, and so they was kind of
So it's like the special freedom you received from your parents.
right.
So thanks
Right.
to Marion and
And Ted.
yeah, I mean, both of them are amazing. I mean, do you have any specific musician heroes or any role models or any
I studied a
bands
lot.
where you said, okay,
I studied a lot
I
of-
want to become the same like X?
I never wanted to be like somebody. I used to try to sing like people, and then I realized I needed to sing like Dale Fisher and become Dale Fisher, which is weird speaking in third person. But I remember we used to make a joke of it because I went by Jetson for a long time. The label that I was on named me Jetson, Jetson. And so me and my girl at the time, we would always laugh about, Jetson's hungry. Jetson needs to go to bed. Jetson needs to this and that. But
And when did you realize that you are you?
That took a while, to tell you the truth. It really took a while. I was trying to, like I said, I was trying to be like other people, or try to sing Elton John songs like Elton John, or sing Billy Joel songs like Billy Joel, or sing Neil Young songs like Neil Young.
Yeah,
And it
but
was a lot better in the end when I just and it started to become Dale Fisher, and I wrote more of
authentic
my
and
songs.
right,
Right,
right, right.
right.
So, I mean, one question which is on my lips since years. I mean, why did you never have that famous breakthrough?
I don't know. I've had a lot of success in little areas, but yeah, I never really had. I had some management trouble and times that it would have been nice to not have management trouble. And I was signed to some people that weren't liked by labels, and so that was difficult for a while too. But who knows? I'm just a late bloomer, I guess.
Yeah, probably. I mean, let's play a little game. I'm going to give you words, and you have to answer spontaneously only with one word.
Oh boy.
Got that?
Okay.
Okay, guitar,
Play.
family,
Love.
friends,
Love.
hate,
Non-existent.
love,
Not existent at the moment.
fear,
All the time. I like everybody else, I think.
health,
About health sometimes.
environment,
My environment's good, and I'm good with the environment that I have in the world that I interact with.
only one word.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes. Wait a minute. Environment, good.
Good. Peace. Don't repeat good. Peace. One word.
Soul.
And future, the last one.
Time.
I mean, why are you traveling now throughout Europe, especially when travel and live music is so restricted by Corona in that time?
Because I did the same thing when I was in the United States when they were all locked down. I traveled everywhere. I went everywhere, and I played everywhere. And everybody's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm living. I'm not waiting. I'm not staying in. I'm not sheltering in place.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
not
but,
doing
but
anything."
right now, especially now in Europe, I mean, I heard you played shows in Spain, in Germany, Cologne, and
I love it.
how did you get all this together? I mean, you organized by yourself,
Yeah.
and call all the club owners and say, "Hey, I'm Dale Fisher. Can I play?"
Yes.
That's the way how it works.
Yes. For many
Amazing.
years.
It's amazing. And last but not least, I mean, what are your plans? What else can we expect from Dale Fisher?
I have a new EP I'm gonna finish that's coming out. It's got it's a track called 17 on it. It's also got another track called Four Wheel Drive. Another one called When We Were Young. There's gonna be
And
something
by
else
the
on
way,
there.
you had your record in your luggage, and it's Yellow Machine.
Yes.
Yes, it's awesome. I heard the vinyl, and fuck, it's amazing. It's amazing record.
Thank you. Everybody did great work on that. That's a great record. I love it. The new stuff's going to be really good too. And then we have some videos that are in the works. One for 17. One that I'm doing. It's a filmmaker who's born in Dubai. He's Iranian. And then I have another filmmaker here that's making a film, a video. And so that'll be completed coming up in the next little bit. And then Robbie and I just got 2 tracks down. That's going to be on there now too. I've got a lot of time, and I hardly ever listen.
So we
And
can
that's the brand new
expect
ones.
definitely way more
Oh
from
yeah,
Mr. Fisher.
all the way until I'm down.
So, I mean, thank you so much for your private insight and this interview.
Thank you.
We
Thanks
wish
for
you
having
only the best. Have a nice day in good old Europe. And let's toast.
Yes.
Thanks for
Prost.
the first Art Farm Records interview.
First.
Thank you.
Prost.